Hello and welcome to day 5 of our Advent calendar. Today I'd like to point you to a passage in Psalm 40. It's a psalm that was written by King David, and he made this comment halfway through. Sacrifice and offering you did not desire, Lord, but my ears you have pierced. Literally, you've dug. I desire to do your will, my God. Your law is within my heart. Now, this act of ancient ear piercing has a particular meaning. It refers to a practice that is rather gruesome by today's standards, but meant a great deal to the people of David's era. At the time, wealthier households might have a slave or two as part of their entourage. Now, we know that the life of some slaves was absolutely dreadful, but that wasn't always the case, and some of them found their master's household a pleasant and fulfilling place to work. To be sure, they were still the property of their masters, but they were treated with respect and valued for what they did. So much so that in some situations a slave could choose to stay with the household permanently. And if they did this, it would confer some additional status on them. Now, when a servant chose to take this step, it was marked by a ceremony which involved taking an awl, a bit like a skewer, and driving it through the servant's earlobe into the doorposts of the house. Like I say, gruesome by our standards, but very meaningful to them. And from that moment on, the servant could be treated a bit more like one of the family, with all the security and the personal worth that implied. Now, in Hebrews, the writer applies this image to Jesus. Sacrifices and offerings, the stuff I have to do, is set aside in favour of a personal and voluntary commitment to God's will, to his purpose, to being part of his household. Now, in retrospect, we can see this passage is speaking about Jesus. He sets aside the compulsion to serve and instead has a desire to serve. Instead of serving God being the requirement imposed from without, it becomes voluntary obedience from within. Now, the Jesus we're anticipating at Christmas didn't serve because he had to. He served because he wanted to. Hello again. If you're watching this on YouTube, you might like to subscribe. There's a little button below this frame, and then you'll get an alert to tell you when the next one comes out. You could also like it, or you could leave a comment and join in the conversation. It would be great to hear from you.